The lights flickered again on the bridge of the Prometheus, and Captain Alex Reed frowned. This was the third time today. Something wasn't right. "Status report," he ordered, his voice calm despite the growing worry in his chest. Lisa, the communications officer, looked up from her screen. "Sir, we're getting more system failures. Life support is down 12% in the lower decks." Captain Reed ran a hand through his short gray hair. The Prometheus was the pride of Earth's fleet, a state-of-the-art vessel meant to show the galaxy that humans belonged among the stars. Now, 3 days into their journey to the Galactic Council meeting, the ship was falling apart. "Get Marcus up here," Reed ordered. 5 minutes later, Chief Engineer Marcus Gray entered the bridge. His usual smile was gone, replaced by dark circles under his eyes and oil stains on his uniform. "Tell me some good news, Marcus," Reed said. Marcus shook his head. "I wish I could, Captain. Whatever's happening isn't normal wear and tear. These systems shouldn't be failing." "Could it be the new parts we got from the Vexian trade agreement?" Reed asked. The Vexians were one of the oldest species in the galaxy. Tall, with blue skin and 4 arms, they looked down on humans as newcomers, barely out of the Stone Age by their standards. "That's what I thought at first," Marcus replied. "But it's not just the new tech. It's our own systems, too. And the way they're failing. It's almost like they're being turned against each other." Reed's eyes narrowed. "Are you suggesting sabotage?" Before Marcus could answer, the ship jerked violently. Red emergency lights flashed on, and alarms blared through the speakers. "Engine 2 just went offline," shouted Ben from the pilot station. "We're losing speed." Reed hit the shipwide communication button. "All hands, battle stations. This is not a drill." 3 hours later, in the main engineering bay, Marcus and his team had pulled apart half the engine controls. They found the problem. Tiny devices attached to key systems. They weren't just damaging the ship, they were reprogramming it from the inside. "These are Vexian tech," Marcus said, holding up a device no bigger than his fingernail. "Advanced stuff. They're designed to make our systems fight each other." Captain Reed looked at the security officer, Tom. "Check the logs. When could they have placed these?" Tom was already reviewing footage on his tablet. "The Vexian delegation toured the ship last month before we left Earth. They requested to see our engine rooms as part of the technology exchange." "Some exchange," Marcus muttered. "They sabotaged us. But why? What do they gain?" Reed's face darkened. "They gain everything. If our ship fails or crashes, they can tell the Council that humans aren't ready for space travel, that we're too primitive to join the galactic community." Lisa's voice came urgently through the comm system. "Captain, you need to see this." On the bridge, Lisa played a transmission she'd intercepted. The message was in Vexian, but the ship's computer translated. "The human vessel continues to degrade. Estimate complete systems failure within 72 hours. Life support will be the last to go. They'll have time to realize what's happening, but not enough to fix it. The Council will see that humans cannot maintain even their best technology. Their petition for membership will be denied for at least another century." Anger rippled through the bridge crew. The Vexians hadn't just wanted to stop their mission. They'd planned a slow death for the entire crew, one that would look like human incompetence. "Options?" Reed asked, his voice tight. Ben spoke up from the pilot station. "We're too far to turn back to Earth, and we don't have enough power to reach the Council at our current speed. The nearest friendly port is the Arcturus station." Lisa added, "But it's 4 days away at full power. We might not make it." Marcus had been quiet, his mind racing. "I might have an idea, Captain. It's against protocol, and honestly, it might not work." "I'm listening," Reed said. "We have that experimental AI system in Cargo Bay 3, Edison. It was supposed to be delivered to the research station after the Council meeting." Tom crossed his arms. "That thing is locked down for a reason. It's unpredictable. It's also the most advanced computer system ever created by humans," Marcus countered. It was designed to interface with and enhance our technology. If we hook it up to the ship's systems, it could fight back against the sabotage. Reed finished. Or it could make things worse, Tom mourned. Reed looked around at his crew. They were the best Earth had to offer, but they were running out of options. The Vexians had counted on humans following procedures, playing by the rules even as they died. "Get Edison," he ordered. "Let's show these aliens what happens when they corner humans." Cargo Bay 3 was cold and quiet. The container holding Edison was simple, a black box with warning labels and security locks. It took Marcus and Tom 20 minutes to override the safety protocols. The AI core was surprisingly small, a crystalline sphere about the size of a basketball, glowing with a faint blue light. "It's beautiful," Lisa whispered. "And dangerous," Tom added. "This thing isn't just a computer. It thinks differently than any AI we've made before." Marcus carefully connected cables between the sphere and a portable terminal. The screen lit up with a simple message. "Dies on in online. Hello, humans." Reed stepped forward. "Edison, I'm Captain Alex Reed of the United Earth vessel Prometheus. We need your help." "I am listening, Captain Reed. Our ship has been sabotaged by the Vexians. They've planted devices throughout our systems that are causing cascading failures. Can you help us?" There was a pause then. "I can interface with your ship's systems and analyze the foreign technology, but to see you into your effect ivloy. I need then my safety protociolas allo." Reed looked at Marcus. "What's it asking for?" "It wants us to remove the restrictions," Marcus explained. "The safeguards that keep it from fully integrating with other systems." "Is that safe?" Lisa asked. Marcus hesitated. "No, but neither is floating dead in space." Reed made his decision. "Do it." As Marcus typed in the override codes, Tom stepped closer to Reed. "Captain, if this goes wrong." "I know the risks," Reed cut him off. "But the Vexians didn't just attack our ship. They attacked humanity's future among the stars. I won't let that stand." The crystal sphere pulsed brighter as the final code was entered. The blue glow spread through the cables, into the terminal, and then into the ship's systems. Lights flickered, but this time they came back stronger. "I see that probabilimno. The VEXI and devices are sophisticated. This will take time." "How much time?" Reed asked. "Less than they expected, Captain. Humans are not the only ones who can adapt." As they left the cargo bay, a Vexian scout ship appeared on the long-range sensors. They had come to watch their handiwork unfold. They were about to get a very different show. The bridge crew of the Prometheus watched nervously as the Vexian scout ship hovered just outside weapons range. Its sleek blue hull gleamed in the starlight, a reminder of how advanced the aliens were compared to humans. "They're scanning us," Lisa reported from her communication station. "Heavy scans, looking at everything from our power systems to life support." Captain Reed nodded. "Let them look. They expect to see a dying ship. Are we just going to sit here?" Ben asked from the pilot's seat, his hands hovering over the controls. "For now," Reed answered. "We need time for Edison to work." Down in engineering, Marcus and his team worked frantically to help the AI system understand the ship's layout. Edison's blue glow had spread through the main power conduits, creating an eerie light that pulsed like a heartbeat. "It's like nothing I've ever seen," said Jen, Marcus's assistant. She pointed to a screen where lines of code flashed by too fast to read. "Edison isn't just fighting the sabotage devices, it's learning from them." Marcus wiped sweat from his forehead. The Vexians thought they were so clever, but they didn't count on human creativity. A warning alarm blared suddenly. One of the engineers called out, "Power spike in Section 12. It's going to blow the whole circuit." Before Marcus could respond, the blue light pulsed strongly once. The alarm fell silent. IHVCONTINEDPHE probilem. Edison's text appeared on the nearest screen. The VXIN devices are attempting to overload your systems in response to my presence. Can you stop them? Marcus asked. Note with your current hardware configuration. I need you to make changes. Marcus hesitated. Letting an experimental AI redesign the ship's systems went against every safety protocol. But playing it safe wasn't an option anymore. What kind of changes? I need to reset access to the physical structures of the ship. Your manufacturing units must be held under my control. Marcus looked at his team. Their faces showed the same mix of fear and excitement he felt. Do it, he said finally, but keep me informed of every change. Of course, Mayor CUS. We are partners in this. On the bridge, Captain Reed received a call from Marcus explaining Edison's plan. It was risky, but so was doing nothing. The Vexian ship is moving closer, Lisa warned. They're trying to get a better look at us. Good, Reed said with a grim smile. Let's give them something to see. Tom, activate the emergency lights on the outer hull. Make it look like we're having power fluctuations. Tom nodded and carried out the order. The ship's exterior began flashing warning lights, creating the impression of a vessel in distress. Now they'll think their sabotage is working, Reed explained. Let's buy Edison some time. Hours passed. The crew worked tirelessly, following Edison's instructions as the AI began reshaping parts of the ship. Maintenance robots, normally used for simple repairs, were reprogrammed to build new components. The ship's 3D printers worked non-stop, creating parts that weren't in any human design. Some crew members grew nervous as walls began to shimmer with thin layers of a new metal that Edison had created. Floors in certain sections became soft before hardening into something stronger than steel. What is this stuff? Jen asked, touching a wall that now had a faint blue glow. ARESPO-NSIV alloy, Edison replied. It can conduct energy, process data, and heal minor damage. Marcus stared in amazement. You invented a new material. I combined the elements of human and ETALURGY with ketone CPTs from TAEVXIN sabotage devices. Their weapons, heavy BECOMEOR tools. The Vexian scout ship sent a message after 12 hours of watching the Prometheus. Human vessel, our sensors indicate you are experiencing severe system failures. Do you require assistance? It was a mockery, not an offer of help. The Vexians wanted to come aboard to confirm their sabotage was working. Captain Reed gathered his senior officers to discuss how to respond. Edison has made progress, Marcus reported, but the ship is still vulnerable. If they come aboard, they'll see what we're doing. And they might try to stop it, Tom added. Reed considered their options. We need more time. Lisa, send a reply. Tell them we're experiencing technical difficulties, but have the situation under control. Lisa nodded. That might make them suspicious. Good, Reed said. Let them be suspicious. It'll keep them watching instead of attacking. As they spoke, the lights on the bridge changed color, shifting from standard white to a soft blue. The control panels rippled, touch screens becoming smoother, more responsive. I am integrated with 40% of DKG ship's systems, Edison announced through the speakers, speaking aloud for the first time. Its voice was neither male nor female, but calm and clear. The sabotage is being contained. What about the engines? Reed asked. Can we move? Not yet. The propulsion system requires EXTENSIV rebuilding. The VXIANS were PA-ULARLY Thorogy in that area. Tom looked worried. We're sitting ducks. Not entirely lie, Edison replied. I have ERPURPOS ED some of the communications ARREYs into defensive MEAs UARTs. Weapons? Reed asked, surprised. Not traditional weapons, but FATTCK'd. We can respond. The Vexian ship moved closer, now clearly visible through the bridge windows. Its sleek design emphasized how alien it was, not just in origin, but in thinking. The Vexians built their technology to be perfect, unchanging, superior. They couldn't understand the human drive to adapt and improve. They're sending another message, Lisa announced. They're offering to send a technical team to assist us. Reed smiled. They want to see if their plan worked. Tell them we appreciate their concern but must decline. Captain, Ben called out from his station. I'm getting strange readings from our hull. It's changing. On the external cameras, they could see that the Prometheus no longer looked like a standard Earth vessel. The once smooth white hull now had patterns of blue light running through it, pulsing with energy. In some areas, the hull seemed to shift and move, as if it were breathing. I am adapting ship's external structure, Edison explained. This will provide better protection and energy efficiency. The Vexians will see this, Tom warned. Yes, they will see that their plan has failed. The Vexian ship suddenly powered up its engines, moving back to a safer distance. They had noticed the changes. They're sending an encrypted transmission, Lisa said, probably calling for backup. Reed looked at his transformed bridge, at the screen showing a ship that was becoming something new, something neither human nor artificial, but a blend of both. Let them come, he said. By the time they get here, we'll be ready. Edison's voice responded with what almost sounded like human satisfaction. Yes, Captain. We will be ready, indeed. 2 weeks had passed since the crew of the Prometheus had activated Edison. The ship that now moved through space was barely recognizable as the vessel that had left Earth. Captain Reed stood on the bridge, watching the stars through a viewing panel that was no longer just a window. The transparent surface now displayed information about each star they passed and seemed to adjust its clarity based on where Reed was looking. It's like the ship knows what I'm thinking, he said softly. In a way, it does, Marcus replied as he entered the bridge. The chief engineer looked tired but excited. Edison has integrated with every system now. The ship responds to our needs before we even voice them. Lisa turned from her communication station, which now floated in front of her like a hologram rather than sitting on a physical desk. The Vexian fleet is still following us. 8 ships, holding position about 10 light minutes behind. Let them follow, Reed said. They're afraid to attack now that they've seen what we can do. The transformation had been remarkable to witness. After the first day, Edison had rebuilt the engines using principles that even Marcus couldn't fully explain. The new drive system didn't use the standardized MindScape navigation technology that all Council species relied on. How fast could we go if we needed to? Reed asked. Marcus shook his head in wonder. That's the thing, Captain. I don't think there's a limit anymore. Edison has created an engine that doesn't just move through space. It reshapes space around the ship, like the old theoretical warp drives. Reed asked. More advanced. It's like. Edison looked at all our theories about space travel and then skipped ahead 1,000 years. Ben called out from his pilot station, which now consisted of a chair surrounded by blue holographic controls. The Vexians are moving, sir. They're forming a blockade pattern ahead of us. Reed nodded calmly. They're trying to force us to use their MindScape gates to get around them. They think we'll have to follow the same rules as everyone else. Should I slow down? Ben asked. Reed smiled. No, Stay on course. Let's show them what we can do now. In the engineering section, Jen was helping Edison modify the final portions of the ship. The walls now seemed alive, shifting and changing to create new rooms as needed. Equipment appeared when requested, then melded back into the walls when not in use. "This doesn't make sense," Jen said, looking at a device Edison had created. It was a small sphere that glowed with an inner light, floating above a pedestal. How can something so small power an entire section of the ship? It degrades energy from mule to peel dimensions, Edison's voice explained through the ship's communication system. The VEXIANSs understand DST technology in theory, but they see ONS's IDR it too, UNP redact ability to use. And is it? Jen asked. Unpredictable. Note if UAPPROHH8 with human creativity, rather than VXIN rigidity. Your species embraces UNCERTAINTY as a natural part of existence. Tom entered the room, his security uniform now enhanced with threads of the same blue material that ran throughout the ship. "The captain wants a report on our defensive capabilities. The Vexian fleet is moving to intercept us." Jen looked concerned. "Are they going to attack?" "They will try," Edison replied. "But they will fail. Please come to the main hall. I have something to show all of you." The main hall of the Prometheus had once been a simple gathering space for crew meetings. Now it was a vast chamber that seemed larger than the ship itself should allow. The senior crew members stood in a circle as Edison's blue light filled the center of the room. "I have seen MPLETED the ship's transformation," Edison announced. "What the VXIANS meant to destroy, we have rebuilt into something beyond their understanding." A holographic model of the ship appeared, rotating slowly. It no longer resembled a standard human vessel. The new Prometheus had a flowing, organic design. Patterns of light pulsed along its surface, and parts of the hull seemed to shift and change even as they watched. "It's beautiful," Lisa whispered. "It is efficient," Edison corrected, "and adaptable. The VVXIANS built their technology to be perfect, and unchanging. Ours evolves constantly." "What about weapons?" Tom asked. "The Vexians have warships." "Observe." The hologram changed to show the Vexian fleet, 8 sleek vessels arranged in a blockade formation ahead of them. Their weapons are designed to ATTCK ships that follow conventional rules of physics and technology. We no longer do. "Can we defend ourselves?" Reed asked. "We can do more than defend," Edison replied. "But I suggest we attempt fuel passage first. Violence is inefficient." Reed smiled at the very human-like reasoning. "Agreed. We'll try talking first." The Vexian commander's face appeared on the main screen of the bridge. Lord Dax had blue skin with intricate patterns that showed his high rank. His 4 arms were positioned in a gesture of authority. His eyes widened slightly at the sight of the transformed bridge. "Human vessel," he said, his translator making his voice sound flat and cold. "You will power down your engines and prepare for inspection. Your ship is exhibiting unauthorized technology." Reed stood tall. "Lord Dax, we know about the sabotage. We have proof that Vexian agents planted devices throughout our ship to make it fail." Dax's expression didn't change. "Your accusations are meaningless. Your primitive species constantly blames others for your own failures." "We didn't fail," Reed replied calmly. "We adapted, and now are going to continue to the Council to present our evidence." "You will not pass," Dax said. Your ship will be contained and studied. Your crew will be detained. We don't want conflict, Reed insisted, but we will reach the council. Dax cut the transmission. Moments later, the Vexian ships began moving into attack positions. They're charging weapons, Tom reported. Reed looked at the view screen where Edison's presence was visible as a subtle blue glow around the edges. Edison, can we get past them without a fight? Yes, Captain. But they may I not perceive it as PC fuel. Reed considered this. Show me. A simulation appeared, showing the Prometheus simply passing through the Vexian ships as if they weren't there, not colliding with them, but phasing through their matter like a ghost. That would terrify them, Marcus said. Good, Reed replied. Maybe fear will teach them respect. He straightened his uniform. Do it, Edison. Take us through. The ship surged forward, heading straight for the Vexian blockade. The Prometheus accelerated toward the Vexian blockade. On the bridge, the crew watched with a mixture of fear and excitement as the distance closed rapidly. They're firing. Tom shouted as bright energy beams shot from the lead Vexian ship. Captain Reed remained calm in his command chair. Edison. I am adjusting our shields, the AI replied. The blue glow throughout the ship pulsed brighter. The energy beams hit the Prometheus, but instead of causing damage, they seemed to wash over the hull like water. The blue patterns on the ship's exterior absorbed the energy, growing brighter. They've hit us with enough firepower to destroy 3 normal ships, Marcus said in amazement. But we're not just surviving. We're using their attacks to power our systems. Lisa's eyes widened as she monitored the communications. The Vexians are panicking. They're ordering all ships to fire everything they have. More energy beams and physical projectiles streaked toward the Prometheus. The energy was absorbed just like before, and the physical weapons simply passed through the ship as if it weren't solid. How are we doing this? Ben asked from the pilot's station, his hands hovering over controls that were barely needed now. I have adjusted our relationship with physical space, Edison explained. We exist to pay our TIALOI in 8 and OTAR dynamian. Their weapons can not if ULLY interact with US. The Prometheus continued forward, now just moments away from the Vexian formation. They're not moving, Tom warned. They think we'll have to turn to avoid collision. Reed leaned forward in his chair. Take us through them, Edison. Right through the flagship. The crew held their breath as the Prometheus approached Lord Dax's massive flagship. Just when collision seemed inevitable, the human ship simply passed through the Vexian vessel like a ghost through a wall. Inside the Vexian ship, alarms blared as their sensors registered something impossible. Lord Dax and his crew watched in horror as the transformed human vessel passed through their supposedly impenetrable defenses as if they weren't there. As the Prometheus emerged on the other side of the blockade, the Vexian ships scrambled to reposition themselves. They're following us, Lisa reported, and Lord Dax is hailing us again. Reed nodded. Put him on screen. Lord Dax appeared, his blue face now showing clear signs of stress. The patterns on his skin had darkened, a Vexian sign of alarm. What have you done? He demanded. This technology is forbidden. No species should be able to phase through solid matter. Reed allowed himself a small smile. We didn't know it was forbidden, Lord Dax. We're just primitive humans solving problems with the tools at hand. You will stop immediately. Dax's 4 arms moved in angry gestures. The MindScape system was designed to prevent exactly this kind of technological abomination. All council species agreed to limit advancement in ways that could destabilize spacetime. Interesting, Edison's voice commented through the ship's speakers. The MindScape navigation system is not merely a convenience. It is a control mechanism. Reed's eyes narrowed. A control mechanism. Silence. Dax shouted. Your AI construct knows nothing. The MindScape maintains order in the galaxy. It limits innovation. Reed realized. It keeps everyone following the same technological path. The path the oldest species like the Vexians approve of. Dax's anger seemed to be mixed with growing fear. We have existed for millions of years. We have seen civilizations destroy themselves with uncontrolled technological advancement. Yet you attempt to destroy this ship and HFY, Edison pointed out. Your own CER for safe TV, CEMS CLECTV. We did what was necessary, Dax insisted. Humans are too unpredictable, too creative to be trusted with advanced technology. Look at what you've done in mere weeks. You've created something that shouldn't be possible for 1,000 years. Reed stood up from his chair. And we did it because you forced us to. We would have been happy to follow your rules if you had welcomed us as equals. I am activating the MindScape gates, Dax threatened. You will be forced into the proper travel lanes where we can contain you. Around the Prometheus, space began to shimmer as massive dimensional gates activated, the MindScape system that all galactic travel relied on. These gates created the only safe paths through space that ships were supposed to use. They are attempting to force us into their controlled network, Edison explained. Once inside, they have the power of to vocols to disable and avuvicho arise the vessels. Can they trap us? Reed asked. No, Edison replied with what almost sounded like amusement. Their system is impressive, but limited by their rigid thinking. The gates fully formed around the Prometheus, massive rings of energy that should have pulled any ship into the prescribed lanes. But the human vessel continued on its course, unaffected. Impossible, Dax shouted, his composure completely gone. Nothing can resist the MindScape gates. We are not resisting them, Edison explained. We are simply navigating. They do not control. Reed addressed the Vexian commander firmly. Lord Dax, we don't want to be your enemies. We came to join the Galactic Council, to learn from older species, to be part of a peaceful community. Your sabotage forced us to find our own path. You don't understand what you've done, Dax said, his voice now quiet with shock. The Council will see you as a threat now. Or they'll see us as proof that there are other ways to solve problems. Reed countered. Not all progress is dangerous. I have analized MindScape system, Edison interrupted. It contains valuable safety protocols, but also unnecessary limitations. ICN PROVYD modifications they to would improve the EFFs. Without compromising safety. You hear that, Dax? Reed said, we're not looking to destroy your system. We want to help improve it. That's the human way. We don't tear down. We build up. Lord Dax seemed lost for words. Finally, he asked, what do you want? Safe passage to the Council, Reed replied. The chance to present our case and our evidence of your sabotage, and recognition that humanity deserves a place at the galactic table. For several tense moments, Dax was silent. Then, with obvious reluctance, he nodded. You will have your hearing, but this is not over, human. As the transmission ended, the crew broke into relieved smiles and congratulations. We did it, Lisa said. We're going to make it to the Council. We did more than that, Marcus added. We just changed the future of human space travel. Reed looked around at his transformed ship, feeling the gentle hum of Edison's systems working throughout. No, he said thoughtfully. I think we just changed the future of all space travel. The captain is correct, Edison agreed. Today marks a Sci-Fi CANTDIVERGENC from East galactic development. The possibilities are extensive. The Prometheus continued on its course to the Galactic Council, leaving the Vexian fleet behind, too shocked to follow. What had begun as an attempt to humiliate humanity had instead launched it far beyond what anyone, human or alien, had imagined possible. The Galactic Council headquarters was a massive space station that orbited a neutral star at the center of Council space. Its design reflected the combined architectural styles of the 50 founding species, a testament to cooperation and shared purpose. As the Prometheus approached, thousands of ships from various worlds moved aside, their captains sending urgent messages about the strange vessel entering Council space. On the bridge, Captain Reed straightened his uniform. After everything they had been through, he wanted humanity's first official appearance before the Council to be perfect. "They're hailing us," Lisa reported. "The Council is requesting that we use standard docking procedures." Reed smiled. "They're not sure what to make of us. Edison, can we look a bit more normal for our arrival? I don't want to scare them before we even say hello." "Of course, Captain." The blue glow that had become a constant feature of the ship dimmed slightly. "IHAVAGUSTD OUREXTERNALAPPARINC to MO close Eloy, resemble a standard human vessel. However, the internal CHANGs remain." "Good enough," Reed said. "Take us in, Ben. Nice and easy, by the book." The Prometheus glided toward the massive docking ring. Despite Edison's adjustments, the ship still had an unusual shimmer to its hull, and the way it moved, so smoothly it seemed to float rather than fly, drew attention from everyone watching. "The Vexian delegation is already at the Council," Tom reported. "They've filed formal protests against us." Reed nodded. "As expected. But they can't stop our hearing now." "IHAVPREPARED all EVIDENCE of THE sabotage," Edison added, "including DETILED analysis of the AT devices and their VEXIN origin." "Thank you, Edison," Reed said. "But I think what will really convince the Council is you." The Council chamber was a vast circular room with tiered seating for representatives of over 300 species. At the center was a speaking platform where those addressing the Council would stand. Captain Reed and his senior officers entered the chamber to a mixture of curious murmurs and hostile stares. The Vexian delegation, seated in one of the highest tiers representing their status as founding members, watched with barely disguised contempt. The head of the Council, a tall, willowy being named Grand Speaker Thelos, called the session to order. "Representatives of Earth," Thelos began in a melodious voice, "you come before us under unusual circumstances. The Vexian Confederation has accused your vessel of employing forbidden technology and violating the technological development treaties that maintain peace in our galaxy." Reed stepped forward. "Grand Speaker, honored Council members, we come in peace and with respect for this body. But we also come with grave concerns about our treatment by one of your founding members." He gestured, and a holographic display appeared above the speaking platform. It showed detailed evidence of the sabotage. The Vexian devices found throughout the Prometheus, recordings of the Vexian delegation's movements during their tour of the ship, and the intercepted communications proving their intent. "These acts were not just an attack on our ship," Reed continued, "but an attempt to prevent humanity from taking its place in this Council. They were willing to sacrifice our entire crew to maintain their technological dominance." Lord Dax rose from his seat. "These accusations are outrageous. Even if such devices were found on the human vessel, there is no proof they came from us." Reed looked up at him calmly. "The proof is in the quantum signature of the devices, which matches Vexian manufacturing precisely. But more importantly," he paused, looking around the chamber, "the proof is in what we were forced to create in response." He tapped a control on his wrist, and a portion of the chamber floor shifted. A blue glow emerged as Edison's presence manifested, not as a machine or computer, but as a shimmering field of light that hovered above the floor. "This is Edison," Reed explained. "When the Vexian sabotage threatened to destroy our ship and kill our crew, we turned to this experimental AI system for help. Together, we created something new, a true symbiosis of human and artificial intelligence that transcended the limitations of both." Alarmed whispers spread through the council chamber. "You merged with an I," one representative asked in horror. "Not merge," Reed corrected. "Partnered. Edison helped us transform our ship to overcome the sabotage, but in the process, we discovered something important about the galaxy you've all built. May I address the council?" Edison's voice echoed through the chamber. Grand Speaker Thelos looked uncertain, but nodded. "Proceed. The MindScape system that all TONCL species use for navigation is more than a convenience. It is a control mechanism designed to limit technological advancement along purity paths. Outraged shouts came from several delegations, but Edison continued. "This is not inherently negative. Safety protocols are necessary, but to progress requires flexibility and adaptation." Reed stepped forward again. "When the Vexians attacked us, they expected us to fail or die trying to fix our ship using approved methods. Instead, we found a different path. Not a better path necessarily, just different. And that's what humanity can offer this council: new perspectives, new approaches to old problems." He looked up at Lord Dax. "We don't want to destroy what you've built. We want to help it grow." Grand Speaker Thelos considered this. "Your eye has accessed the MindScape system without authorization. This is unprecedented. I have studied it without altering it," Edison clarified. "And I have identified several improvements that to maintain safety while increasing efficiency by 47%. A representative from a species known for their scientific achievements leaned forward with interest. "What kind of improvements?" As Edison began explaining technical details, Reed noticed something changing in the chamber. The initial fear was giving way to curiosity. Many council members were listening intently, asking questions, engaging with ideas that would have been forbidden just hours earlier. After hours of debate, Grand Speaker Thelos called for a vote. The results surprised even Reed. While the Vexians and a few allied species voted against them, the majority of the council voted to admit Earth as a probationary member, with full status to be granted after a period of cooperation and knowledge exchange. "The council has spoken," Thelos announced. "Earth is welcomed among us, with the understanding that your unique technologies will be shared responsibly." Reed bowed respectfully. "Thank you, Grand Speaker. Humanity is honored to join this community of worlds." As the human delegation prepared to return to the Prometheus, they were surprised to find representatives from dozens of species waiting to speak with them. Many were curious about Edison. Others wanted to discuss possible exchanges of technology or knowledge. "It seems we've made quite an impression," Marcus said as they made their way through the crowd. Reed nodded. "They've been stuck in the same patterns for too long. We showed them something new as possible." Back on the Prometheus, the crew gathered on the bridge to celebrate their success. The ship would return to Earth as heroes, bearers of membership in the Galactic Council and pioneers of a new type of space travel. "What happens now, Edison?" Reed asked the AI, whose presence had become so familiar. "Now, Captain, we begin the real work. The VDXIANS ATKMPTD to end humanity's Terror. Instead, they helpdlaunc it the yonid whgate anen any thog to piosail. Reed smiled as he looked at his crew and their transformed ship. What had begun as an act of sabotage had become the catalyst for humanity's greatest leap forward. That's the thing about humans, he said. We don't just survive challenges, we grow from them. And now the whole galaxy will grow with us. The blue light of Edison's presence pulsed in what felt like agreement as the Prometheus prepared for its journey home. Not as the victim of an alien attack, but as the herald of a new age for humanity and the galaxy beyond.